Hey guys, this is my foundation tutorial video, and I apologize in advance for the camera angles and kind of the shoddy filming because literally I have like 3 textbooks and a basket and all this stuff stacked on top of each other so I can get my camera up to face level because and it's kind of wobbly because if I didn't do that you'd be kind of looking at my stomach right now and that's not cool. And my mirrors, my big mirror's over here, and I have another handheld, or not handheld, but like another kind of desk mirror right here, and this is the one I'm going to try and use. So I'm going to try and angle the camera a little bit like that. Okay. For my foundation, I already have my Bare Essentials primer on. I went ahead and put Urban Decay Primer Potion on my eyes just because I do all my primer at once. I just have chapstick on, and then I went ahead and did concealer with the Body Shop Flawless Skin Protecting Concealer on a couple blemishes that I have right now. And they're not totally covered, but my foundation does a pretty good job of covering them. I just wanted to do like a little pre-coverage because I mean they're problem areas, and I do my dark circles after my foundation. So to prep your sponge, if you're doing the foundation like me and you have the Sonia Kashuk blue sponge, I already did this in the bathroom. You're gonna, when you first get it, it's gonna be a lot smaller than this, and actually mine's kind of misshapen right now, but it's a lot smaller than this, and you're gonna run it under the sink until it gets like fully saturated, and then wring it out, and do that like 4 or 5 times. Like, you have to do it a lot to get fully saturated, and then the last time, you don't wring it totally out, you don't want to be totally dry, you still want like a little bit of water in there. I'd say like a little bit less than half. And I have a bowl of water here, because the bathroom's down the hall, just in case I need to do it again. But like, you don't want it dripping out with water or anything, but you want enough water in there to where it won't soak up all of your foundation. And the Beauty Blender sponge works the same way. It's just that the Sonia Kashuk sponge is about half the price, so that's why I do it. And my hair is pinned back. This is probably the only time you'll ever see that, unless I do like a skincare tutorial. Just so I can get the foundation all the way up here and on the sides of my face without messing up. So I'm just shaking the Colorstay a little bit in case anything's separated or anything like that. And my only problem, like I said, with this foundation is it doesn't have a pump, so I'm going to try and pour slowly out onto the back of my hand. Okay, and that's probably too much. And then I'm going to take the sponge and wipe off that little bit on the lip of the bottle that got out. And so you see that's about how much I have, and that's probably honestly too much. So I'm just going to start on my chin. I put that right there. And you're going to kind of bounce it over your skin, if that makes sense. I mean, technically it's stippling. But, and then back in here, I kind of roll it in the foundation. You have that on there. Just kind of do big blobs and then go back over and stipple it some more so it'll blend in. And I'm going to look over at my big mirror because that's the one that's better lit right now that I can see. You guys see that? And then down into my jawline, under my chin, out here on the sides. And that cheek is pretty much done. If I wanted to, I could go back over it one more time just to cover up a little bit of the color in my cheeks. We're going to do the same thing on the side, just big dots, and then go back over it several times. Under here. And the one thing a lot of people miss is this part of their nose right here. So I kind of do that on the top of my nose. Alright. Back on this side. This side's blended out pretty well. Back into my jawline. Okay. And my forehead. Bounce that on. And then, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to stay in the camera focus, but I'm looking in my big mirror. So, up into the hairline. I can even use my camera for a mirror. Okay. Down the nose, on both sides. And I'm going to put a little bit on the dark circles just to start to cover them up because this foundation does provide such good coverage. But I am going to go back over it with the concealer. And again on my chin because I can see I had acne scarring there. And I can see that still in a couple blemishes. back over here. I'm going to go like kind of over the bridge of my nose because that's an easy area to miss. Up, kind of to my temples. Alright, and you see I still have all that foundation left. So I'm going to try and scrape it back into the bottle. And there's going to get like a little bit on the lip of the bottle again. So I'm going to use the sponge and go around. And this will just be the extra that I need to go over my cheeks one more time. You guys can see. And then down. Just to blend, 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 blend. Okay. So that's done with the foundation. I just put it in the bowl of, I just put the sponge in the bowl of water for a second to sit. I'm going to wring it out again in a second. Just wiping the foundation off the back of my hand. And before it totally dries, to keep my concealer from looking cakey, I'm going to do my concealer. And I use the sponge to help blend that out as well, so I'm going to wring it out again. And this time we're going to use the kind of pointy tip of the sponge to get more precise application because, you know, it is under eye concealer and that needs to be like really precise. So I'm just trying to wring out the sponge. Okay, and this is my Clinique line smoothing concealer. I use it in shade 1. It has a little doe foot applicator, so just one dot on the very inner corner and another one. Inner corner and another one. So you guys can see that. And I'm going to take my ring finger. And I know people use different fingers for working around their eyes, but if at all possible, you should always try and use your ring finger because that's the one that has the least amount of strength, and the skin around your eyes is very delicate. So you guys can see I just kind of patted that out with my ring finger, and now I'm going to take the sponge and just pat it almost like if you guys want to think like in these old movies or whatever when ladies will be at like a wedding or a funeral and they take like the very corner of their handkerchief and just be like dotting their tears. You kind of want to do that little motion. Okay. And I'm just checking in the big mirror again. Okay, and that looks pretty well blended. And I'm just going to let this sit for a few minutes because it is liquid foundation. It needs to, you know, dry out before you do powder or blush or anything. So, let that sit and dry for, I usually give it 10 minutes just to be like extra safe. But there you go, I'm done with my foundation. And I'm going to do another video right after this on luminous skin for one of the fall trends that Sephora noted. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions on any of the products I used or my technique at all, just leave a comment or send me a message. I hope this helped you guys. Bye.